Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on This Too Deep. Before we begin this episode, I'd just like to share my thanks and appreciation for everybody who takes the time out of their day, out of the crazy lives that you all live, to join me and to allow me to just spit stupid hot fire into your ears. And hopefully together we put each other in a level of awareness to where our dreams, chasing them, achieving them, living them, don't seem so far-fetched. And living a life that's in alignment with our truth, with deepening our awareness in our soul, is just routine. It's just who we are. It isn't something that we need an egregious amount of money. We need a ridiculous amount of validation to start pursuing. Through this video, I want the average person to know that living a life through their dreams may be the key to becoming their most authentic self and living free from the attachments, the negativity that hold them back from living fully present in the now. This chart that I've described here behind me, if you want to get a good little look at it, this chart is how I go about perceiving nurturing my dreams in a reality that forces you to almost sacrifice your dreams to lock yourself down in reality, in security, which is really conditional, and then constantly just sell a little bit more of your soul until you are just a robot, an NPC, a soulless life form, meat suit, carrying yourself around, doing tasks for everybody but yourself, giving your unique life force, sacrificing the opportunity to develop and to discover your own gifts so somebody else can utilize that energy to continue to manifest their dreams, because they understand this equation and they utilize this equation, but you don't. And that's where it's going to be really difficult for a lot of us in this world, bro. Because very, very, very few people are playing this game for real. Let me get into explaining that to you guys real quick. Okay. First, I'm going to start talking about the axes, and then I'll get into the rest of how you can truly go about developing, aligning with, and living through your dreams without abandoning the reality, like your flesh and blood and bones, because that's who you are in this society, and that's the vessel that your soul is using to be able to share these dreams, these gifts, these ridiculously amazing goals with your people and with your reality. This top part of the graph is your body clock. And I'm going to start here because many of us don't even have a clear awareness of what our body clock is. So, without having a full sense of identity and self, you're going out into the world expecting the world to tell you who you are. But when we live in a very predatory society that needs to exploit and use as many unconscious individuals as possible, you're going to be, if this is what you're depending on to tell you who you are and to tell you how you function, and you don't have a sense of knowing how to optimally treat and nurture yourself, your own body clock, and you meet your own needs and desires, you're constantly going to be cutting off a little bit more of yourself, cutting off a little bit more of your soul as a means to be on time to society's time, because you've sacrificed being able to tell yourself who you are, and you said society's going to tell me who I am, and society's going to tell me what my needs are, and society is going to tell me how to function, it's going to tell me when to sleep, it's going to tell me how to love, it's going to tell me how to exist, how to express. And every single part beyond what society validates from me needs to get severed, needs to get suppressed, needs to get cut off. And therefore, I limit myself from even being able to expand beyond 3D on this XY chart because I've limited my identity and the depth, the limitation of my identity, I've limited to what society has said I am. Therefore, I have no power, I have no ability to become aware of my own depth because society can only go skin deep in assessing who I am as an individual. The rest, everything beneath my surface, is totally up to me and is totally dependent on my ability to be aware of myself, my needs, my dreams, my desires, my energy, my emotions. This is not their responsibility. Society is going to use the people who don't know how to use themselves, while the people who know how to use themselves are going to develop self through deepening their awareness into self, allowing them a greater opportunity to see where those opportunities align to manifest those and to make those happen in the world. So now you as a self get to use the world to be inspired, to learn, to grow, to fail. The earth goes from being a courtroom where you're held against the law, and it turns into a canvas, which is a blank board, and you can go as deep, as high, as out, as wide, as left, as right as you need to fully express yourself on the infinite scale, which I included as the Z line, which is your soul depth into infinite awareness. So remember, if you have no sense of self, if you have an incomplete sense of self, society tells you who you are, or if you're fortunate enough to be successful or be very validated consistently through an identity, society is going to hold you up to the expectation of that identity. More times people fail to even have a validated identity, so they never even have the time to get to understanding or taking care of themselves, or they are so validated, why would you need to even risk diving into here if this is already validating and taking care of you as it should? Now, let me get to how people are backdoored into discovering this, which is another crazy thing here. Because we've just talked about the unconscious people who are used by society and the conscious people who use society, which is very, very few of us. Now, you are fortunate enough to have resources already in your personal situation that grant you access to discovering this depth into yourself. Or this may reject you. This society may reject how you express yourself fully. And you may not have any traits, any identity, anything usable to be exploited by society. Therefore, you are rejected by society, and you need to go back to self to discover who you are. You need to go find out the other people that were rejected for expressing themselves like you. You need to dig into this bag and to reconfigure yourself or change yourself so now society can either accept you and you can feel comfortable being on this first line, this most basic line of awareness, or, and this is the path I took, which is insane, and I don't recommend anybody doing this, but we as a community together will help each other. So I just got to share this first, and then over time we'll understand how we can do it for everybody. But I found myself being rejected here. So I went back to here as a means of being accepted by this society until I realized that my dreams, my passions are a lot deeper, a lot more unique than validated society even has. A lot richer than traditional social culture has. But I can't sit here and keep being this basic version of myself and expect these people to accept me. It's almost like I'm not allowed to live a regular life. Like who I am, I have to live passionately through my dreams, and that's where my most authentic value comes from. So I go from here, traumatized, into here, developing this to get back to here, realizing this isn't even where I want to go. I want more than that. If I took this much time to heal, to grow, and to be aware of myself, fuck the basic shit. Let me go what the big dogs are doing. Let me go find out what the playable characters are doing. And that allowed me to go boom, 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 deeper, deeper into myself, while always hooking back onto literally being anchored in society by my identity. So now, as deep as I go into here, every level, I'm growing deeper into a more valuable point in my soul, a more valuable point in infinite awareness. Meaning that if I can go deep into here and find a way to uniquely share them back with general society, I'm basically mining a gold. I'm mining a stone, a crystal, that the only block is myself. The only obstacle is to getting this thing is myself. And anybody can tap into these riches, into this wealth, into these dreams and this imagination here for themselves from their own unique perspective, and then come back to society and share those dreams and that greatness and those manifestations with the world. But so few of us actually have the awareness and the grit and the strength, the spiritual strength to dive this deep. Because this is darkness. Don't forget, this may be your dreams. This may be the infinite imagination, but it's darkness to get into here. You become the light when you go down to here. After having been able to live in society's light for so long, on this, the status quo, the general standard, you have to become the light to shed light onto your darkness and to discover your gifts and discover and manifest your dreams. And that's where a lot of people won't cut it. A lot of people just get comfortable in whatever echo chamber they stick in, something real basic, something real soothing to their trauma and insecurities. A lot of people just won't make it, my friend. And it's a very sad thing. It's a very sad thing. But before we even get totally lost here, which really I truly believe that I'm done explaining this, I'll get into this real quick. I'm not sure what I was going to go to here. Maybe I was going to write like the Declaration of Independence or something. But what I want to explain is that you're going to see this red line that I've drawn right here is going to be general society. This red line is what this eye is basically the big brother of society, regulating what the general perception of the people is. The blue, that's what's socially acceptable to believe, to think, to have in your mind, so you aren't, just like we aren't doing American Civil War every 9 months. But this, the real world, still exists in that infinite darkness, bro. Everything that they don't allow you to see, everything that society doesn't put on your plate to feed you with, is still free game, bro. And I'm telling you, the type of shit that I'm telling you right now, regular people, like the rich people and all that shit, they're not going to tell you this shit, bro, because it means you tapping into your own wealth. And very quickly, you won't need to depend on somebody like me. Because you'll be creating value, creating wealth, creating abundance for yourself and sharing with your people, the people that you desire to inspire on your journey. And I'm going to have to hope that you remember that these are conversations we had that inspired that kind of lifestyle change. But I know this type of shit, bro, these kinds of conversations, bro, are going to change the whole world, bro. Like, it's not a matter of waiting for somebody, waiting for something to come and save us. It's a matter of waking up to, holy shit, self, am impacting this whole reality. And I impact this reality for the person next to me, for the person on the other side of the country, and for the alien in the spaceship watching down on us in this freaking space dome Earth. And we really got to start understanding the intentions that we have for how we impact not just ourselves, but our people, our life, our society, our culture. You know, and it's going to be the kids that come up with that shit, bro. So thank you again. Thank you again for joining me on This Too Deep. I couldn't be more thankful that I have a community of people who actually watches my video and actually like takes me seriously. You don't understand how much I'd be just thankful for that. But every single week, I'm going to crack out a video for you guys, bro. And I'm building the brand. I'm learning how to love myself, and I'm learning how to share value by the ways that I know I was meant to provide it to the people on this earth. And that's something that, you know, I'm truly thankful for. Until I see you guys again, sending my blessings, love. Tap in with me on Instagram or, you know, some social media if you feel like you could talk to me. But, you know, if you want to be a stranger, then go ahead and be a stranger. Just go like and subscribe and share this video to the hottest mama you know. Love. Catch you guys later.